All right. Hello, hello. Is this thing on? Test 1, 2. We're in map number 3 here. It's the best of 7 finals for the OlimoLeague. It's the monthly finals, no less. And there's quite a bit of cash in the line. Spawning here in the top left corner of the map. Let me swap that overlay. There we go. It is going to be the red Protoss player playing for MVP, YongHwa. Trying the same builds again. Bottom left corner of the map playing for Dead Pixels. It's the blue Zerg player True. And it's interesting that he keeps going for these cannons, guys, or rather attempts at cannons. Something that you may not know if you didn't join us on the cast early on. SOS actually joined the lobby and spoke with YongHwa for a little bit during his series versus Impact. So I don't know if he told him, bro, do cannons all day, you're sure to win. I won $100,000 doing it, you can too. Or what the case may be. But yeah, he's been rather insistent on trying to do cannons, and I don't blame him. Cannons can actually be pretty fantastic if executed correctly. In fact, he's going for cheeky pylon. It's gonna just cancel this. I mean, like, what is this? This is weird. He's gonna try and get the cannons here to guard the ramp while he got pylons up there, I suppose, but still not gonna be worth it. Forces a big drone pull, actually. Ooh, this really puts True on paranoia street. But here's the thing. True actually can't pull off that same sort of hatchery shenanigans they did last time. You pull a lot of probes and you waste a lot of time mining to deal with it. Most of the time if it's a gateway expand, but if it's a cannons, you just throw a cannon down, it's not that big of a deal. So pylon does clean up or finish up, it's going to block. Nexus does go down, no blocks out of True, and he might go for a gas steal if he can get away with it. But this drone is so close to dead. Actually, it's the hatchery down, okay. This is really annoying. Yeah, he's pulling. I like that he's pulling into this too. If this gets up, then you could very well be dead, but yeah, gonna lose a lot of mining trying to kill this. He can pull off the same tactics here where he just cancels, goes somewhere else and builds again. Well, I think it's dealt with pretty promptly. On the other side of the map, he hasn't quite got his hatchery down. Spends a lot of time dealing with these pylons. In fact, Ling's coming across the map. Cannon's a little bit late. Ooh, this could be problems. The wall wasn't put down either, so YongHwa is going to have to deal with this amount of Lings actually guarding the hatchery coming down. Actually, this is really problematic, because now he might not actually be able to kill the hatchery, and if that hatchery gets up, you better believe that this gets out of control with either creep tumors, spine crawlers, roaches, whatever. Man, so much mining loss because he has to pull almost all the probes to deal with this. 400 minerals per minute. That's a whole expansion down. And he doesn't actually have enough probes on the hatchery to stop it from building. So, should this thing complete... Oh, boy. It'll be low. Okay, he actually transfers a couple more probes onto this, so the damage should be there now. More links coming across the map. Cannon did complete, but it's not going to stop because there's no wall. Okay, he actually does get the wall down there, so he starts chipping on the back rocks. Probe's still playing right around the rosy with a couple of these lings. He's got to not forget there's a cannon down here, but yeah, he cannot run most of this. Zealot has to be really careful though, because if True micros correctly, he can deal with that Zealot pretty well. Goes for the gas steal again. Oh man, this full of shenanigans and full of irritation. That's for sure. The rock's still not quite being dealt with. As cannon comes down, he actually might be able to go kill that cannon. If you not run the Zealot long enough, bait it. Gets another probe kill. So far, 2 kills. Kind of worth the trouble here, truthfully. Because what this has also done is, like, while it's delayed a lot of what Yang was doing, not significantly, but like minor amounts of minerals lost here and there, build up pretty quick. True's managed to get his 3rd down. He was, of course, delayed heavily because of those pylons, but hey, now he's back on track. And I gotta tell you, he's looking pretty good. I like it. Still picking off the odd probe here or there. With the cyber core being delayed the way it was too, this mothership core is going to be really late. And YongHwa actually has to pick whether he invests in the warp tech right away or if he goes for the mothership core. I think he kind of needs the mothership core, or he's going to keep bleeding out 1 probe every like cycle here. These links just keep running around in circles and circles. On top of this too, because the Zealot's been wasting so much time chasing the lings, that extractor hasn't been whittled away yet either, so it's going to be a bit of time before he can take another gas. Oh, true down here. That's gonna be a problem. Finally resolves this, but the problem I see in chat here, guys, if you're not aware, if you get banned from a channel and you make other accounts to come back to the channel to troll still, that can actually get you permanently IP banned from Twitch. There's something in the code of conduct or something about that. Everyone should be reading that too. They updated it recently with the whole dress code thing, which is kind of the sarcasm of today's cast earlier, but dear moderators, if people are getting out of hand, don't be shy in actually reporting them to Twitch, shy of just actually moderating them yourselves. And I thank you guys for your diligence day in and day out, helping keep the channel as awesome as it is, keeping the chat clean, and all the other behind the scenes duties you guys do. So thank you kindly. But the drones and the drones, getting to that 70 count. I talked about this before. It's kind of that comfortable number you want to get to if you can. He's definitely been able to get to that number this time, unlike previous games where there's been that all-in coming. Granted, he defended an all-in and won a game, and the first time he lost to the all-in and lost the game, but Deadwing being what it is, tends to be a map where if there is this passive play, all-ins on one side or the other, because don't forget, guys, while it's usually Protoss with guilty culprits, Zerg players can all-in too. Okay, we'll talk about this in a sec, but I like that he's going for the 4th base really quickly. Going to take advantage of this, knock the walls down, do what he can, but 3 Stargates coming up here. Now, last time we saw this, we discussed how Void Rays are actually pretty fantastic in this matchup. They can be good, but YongHwa actually went Mass Phoenixes, which it was versus Impact. I really don't think the Phoenixes did so good, but yeah, we talked about how 15, 20 Phoenixes can get the same damage done as like 5 as far as drones killed, but he killed a lot of Overlords that game, guys. If you missed it earlier, the semifinals, YongHwa killed like 25 something Overlords from Impact, so definitely can be really good if he goes for Phoenixes again. I imagine that would be the case. It will be the case. Yeah, especially as he throws these down the same location in the same clump. I kind of wish you would have spread these out a little bit, though, because I guess oh, you know what, I take that back. You're not really worried about getting this scouted. It's just kind of like this blitz move, and I guess later on in the game we'll see if True decides to adapt to Mutalisks and Corruptors, or if he's going to go one way or the other. But he actually goes for Pathogen Glands. Does he know? He doesn't know. This is in anticipation of Blink Stalkers. Okay, similar situation came up with Impact earlier too. You go for the Pathogen Glands here and the +1 weapons because you're expecting all these Blink Stalkers out, and you fungal them, you surround them, you kill them. The fungal growths will complement the army and actually kill the Phoenixes if they can catch that clump, because the Phoenixes do clump. They're very notorious for it. But the Ling Flood underneath this actually works out really well. What this allows him to do is simply flood on the field. No amount of Phoenixes will Graviton beam up every single Zergling, and if they do, they'll have no energy to do anything useful afterwards. So again, you'll be able to fungal growth the Phoenixes to shut them down, you'll be able to use the Lings to circumvent them if that's the case. I'm actually really curious to see if YongHwa is going to reach out for that 4th or not, though. It's really risky because he doesn't have an army. Anytime you go air anything, even if it's Void Rays, even if it's Phoenixes, you got to be careful, because you're not going to have a lot of ground support to protect your buildings, which is why you see this crazy wall off here with 3 cannons, not 1, with a lot of sentries nearby as well. Bottom left corner of the map, gonna have that run by here though. 2 Spore Crawlers per base and 3 Queens, 5 Queens even. Ooh, oh my. Meanwhile, big Ling attack on this wall, but the problem is with those force fields, where are they? Okay, force field does land at that right moment. Okay, now the next question is where these infestors. Fungal growth goes down on top of that first set. He needs a couple more fungals, so here come the rest of the infestors. 1 set lands. Rebrewing that Spore Crawler should be able to kill 4 of these Phoenixes relatively easy. A couple Overlords gonna go down, but here's the thing, guys. Like, this kind of sucks. Nice snipe of 4 Phoenixes, but they're relatively cheap. They're easy to replace. If you want to, you can invest in more, but you might wonder, like, why does he only invest in, like, 10 Phoenixes? What's the point of going 3 Stargates if you're not going to go heavier into this? It's because at some point in this game, there's going to be the threat of Broodlords, and at some point, you're going to wish you had slapped down 3 Stargates anyways. So what this kind of does is it just gets ahead of the game. It sounds silly to phrase it like that, but that's really the case of it, where now all he has to do is throw down a Fleet Beacon if he's really worried about this. It covers against Mutalisk transitions. It's a bigger, heavier investment early on, but I feel like this pays off for the rest of the game through and through. But man, that's a lot of infestors. There is a lot of infestors in play. I do like the adrenal glands coming out here too. It's something I kind of criticized Impact a little bit for because he went so Ling heavy with melee upgrades, 3/3, and all these other wonderful things. But he didn't have adrenal glands, so he wasn't able to fully use the army. And don't forget, guys, True is staying at the Axiom House. So I imagine, I kind of imagine like a wrestler in the ring. Like there's True getting ready for the next round, and Impact's right behind him, rubbing his shoulders. Like, all right, here's what you're gonna do: hit him with the left and go to the right and follow up with Infester. Because this is a very similar playstyle. The difference is there's a lot more Infestors than what we saw last time, and a lot less Ultralisks. In fact, going straight to Broodlords, and I guess that's one of the nice things. Like, well, hang on, we'll see what happens here. Lots of infested Terrans come down. I'm not sure this will be so great. I think a Fungal Growth would be a little bit better. Holds the army in place, and the Lings chipping away. This force field's looking actually damn near perfect on this, but the cannons managed to finish up, and oh my god, there's so many infested Terrans. Can he get these infestors out of here? It's going to be the big question, though. They're such expensive units. You don't want to give them away like this. The army's dissipated. There's no support. You got to run, man. Leave the queens. Leave the queens. They're for nuts. Meanwhile, the infested Terrans start tearing down some of these gateways. They really didn't cause any probe kills, sadly, and the queen's also going to fall. This really sucks because I think you want to have all these queens available for the Broodlords for transfuses as well as the Ultralisks in that potential swap. But, ooh, big surround on the Lings. Not a lot of force fields left at this point. The Zerglings was soon to be... Oh, he attacks like 5 seconds too soon. Oh, these upgrades are going to finish as all the Lings die. That could have been 2-2 if he had just waited. Oh, he kills like nothing for that. What a waste of Zerglings. Oh, no. Okay, though, recovering off of this, remember, guys, his goal is to possibly go for Ultralisks, but mostly go for Broodlords. There's a Warp Prism here in the main. Man, I swear, every Zerg player at this point, every Zerg player at some point on Deadwing has this happen, where the Warp Prism sits here, and it just goes unseen. Dead space is too annoying to deal with. No Overlord coverage, no nothing. So, can't quite deal with this just yet. I do like the Infestors live, though. So, that fight sucked, and let's be honest, guys, look at the resources lost. I mean, actually, I'm surprised it came out better for True. He did throw away his entire army for that, but at the same time, his army was kind of wasteful supply. He didn't need 9 queens. He didn't need 500 Zerglings. Like, the only important part of that army really was the Infestors, and he kept those alive, so that was pretty smart. But as Broodlords come in and Ultralisks morph out of these eggs, he's going to have to worry about these Zealots warping to the main. He still doesn't know about this, and he's banking up this big army that's just going to smack True right in the face. And the best part is he's waiting. He's waiting until his opponent moves out. So as he sees True coming across the map like this, YongHwa will now send the Zealots in. There we go. Goes to the main. Knows that there's nothing left at home. Ultralisks and Ling's going to have to go back home. Broodlords are way too slow for that, of course. But as said before, when you're worried about Broodlords, those 3 Stargates are already down. All he's got to do is either start investing in Void Rays right now, as we see, or throw it on the Fleet Beacon so he can get those Tempests out. Either way, he's in a pretty good spot to deal with this. This is a nuisance. It's tearing down gateways, but to be honest, guys, these gateways are meant to be just kind of fodder. They're a wall to protect what's behind it. They're not really going to be used for much of anything. Looks like the main was cleaned up at the cost of a couple drones and the Queen, but the Warp Prism still stands. He doesn't know about this, however, so yikes, that's going to hurt. Meanwhile, the Broodlords continuing their slow siege forward. Normally, you'd be like, oh, he's just gonna throw a storm down and blink underneath this. Not gonna be the case. If he blinks underneath this, if Fungals come down, the Ultralisks pounce and those Stalkers all die. I think he knows this too. Trying to blink. Oh, actually land a couple of those. I would love if he actually sieged up the 3rd base instead of the 4th. This is where the Stargates are. He doesn't know this, of course, just yet, but oh, actually he does. So as the Ultras start funneling through here, oh, they find their way in quite nicely. Lings with 2-2 going to chip through this wall. I would love to see True start as 3-3, but oh, okay, the Infested Terran's going to come down to try and protect these from those Void Rays. Look at that anti-air, guys. It's not a lot of damage, but it's enough damage. Storm's coming down, and the focus fire is good. A couple of the Infested Terrans die, but oh, can he hold on to this? The Infestors, the Broodlords, the Ultralisks. This is such an expensive army for True to give away. He's got a bank behind it, but the Stargates fall, and there's not going to be any more production to deal with this. Mutalisk transition is such a sick move. Without those Stargates available, there's going to be no Phoenixes. Everything on the ground right now is being built to be anti-Ultralisk, anti-Broodlords. So this means Stalkers, Archons, Immortals. Nothing of what he's actually going to need to deal with this Mutalisk swap. This didn't happen in the series of Impact versus True, but I guarantee you, kind of like Mufasa in the sky, smiling down upon Simba. Right now, Impact is so proud of True that he's doing this so well that he's executed this in a way that he couldn't. So it's really cool to see this come down like this. By the way, high five, sickest Disney reference thrown into an actual cast. Oh yeah. Well, next to this guy, of course, but that's only after I tell a bad joke, so that doesn't count. But really into the full swing of things right now. We got a lot of creep spread. Lots of those Infestors still lived. In fact, very few have died this game. 3 in total. But Yeah, the Mutalisk swap may just be a little too much. Normally you'd say, okay, well the Archons can hold this, but nope, here comes some Ultralisk to change his mind. Infested Terrans come down once again, and these Immortals are gonna die. 100 Zerglings! For 1 second, we had 3 digits of Zerglings in production, reinforcing behind this. With 2-2 and Adrenal Glands, that's gonna be game. GG, True will take game number 3, giving him a